Hey guys, so this video is going to be about how I changed the faux fur on this little king penguin chick. So the Calgary Zoo, this is made for the Calgary Zoo, and I originally just used some reference images for penguin chicks, and I was sort of torn between two different types of faux fur. So I went for the darker one, but yeah, the zoo wanted it a little bit lighter, so I ended up changing the faux fur to this lighter brown color, which was the original fur that I was going to use and then ended up changing my mind. So essentially I should have just went with my gut instinct, I guess. But yeah, so I'm going to go through the whole process of constructing this again from taking it down from what it was with that brown faux fur, the darker brown faux fur, and changing it. There is a video on my Patreon about how I deconstructed the faux fur off the penguin, so if you want to see how I did that, check that out. It's on here for the $5 and up tiers. So yeah, the rest of the video will be how I constructed the body. Alrighty, so the previous video of doing the darker faux fur, you can find on my channel. I'll try and remember to link it below, but I never do. But it goes through the whole process of, there's two videos actually, one sculpting video, I go through the process of actually sculpting the head and the feet of this doll, and then I go the actual construction video, we'll go through the painting process. I paint the face and also the feet as well. That whole process is available in that video, and then I move on to the faux fur, but for this video I'll just include the lighter faux fur. It's the same faux fur that I used for the darker one, but it is obviously a lighter one. It's a nightmare faux fur to use, but it is super soft. So the zoo wanted a faux fur that replicated feathers, and I thought this one worked really well. I used it also on some of the lemurs that I made for them, and I thought that looked perfect for lemur fur, and at the same likewise it's perfect for the king penguin chick. So yeah, so their request, like I said at the start, their request was to move from to change it from the darker faux fur to this lighter one. So it's basically the same process, drawing out the pattern. The pattern can be found over on my Patreon for my $5 and up tiers. You'll get instant access to it when you join the $5 tier, so you can find that the body pattern for that doll on there. And then once I've drawn all the patterns onto the backing of the faux fur, I can start cutting it out. So the reason why this faux fur is really difficult to work with is because the backing is kind of silky fabric, where it's really difficult to get scissors to cut it for some reason. If you use a knife, I find it stretched the fabric way too much and sort of frayed the edges a bit too much. So I opted for a smaller pair of scissors, the ones that I normally use for all of my faux fur, and I thought this one cut really well. I tried a couple of different pairs of scissors, so larger ones, fabric ones, and also smaller ones, but these scissors cut really well, so I decided to go with this one. But yeah, just try different pairs of scissors out if you're having trouble cutting faux fur, because this one is really difficult to cut. So once all the pieces are cut out, I can go ahead and pin everything together, and then I will go and sew it up on a sewing machine, and finally finish it off with some hand sewing. I generally try to do a lot on the sewing machine when I can, because I find it's a lot faster to sew it, and also it's a lot stronger. But a lot of so for example, the bongo body, I had to hand sew a lot of it just because of the nature of the body. But for this one, it's pretty simple body to deal with, so I sewed it all up on a sewing machine. So this is what we have once it's been sewn up. I'll need to flip it the right way around, so I have to feed it through the neck hole or wherever you've left it open. Same with the wing bits. I'll have to flip it the right way around, and that way I can start constructing the doll. So for this doll, as I've already made the armature, you can find that process on my Patreon as well. I have a heap of armature making videos over there. but I'm using a plastic ball and socket armature for this particular doll, so I don't need to construct it as I've already done it. So I've just inserted it inside the body, added some polyfill, that's like inside stuffing that's similar to stuff that you find in pillows and like couch cushions and stuff. I also have a video on that on my YouTube if you want to know exactly what I use, but I filled that up into the body, making sure that all of the grooves have polyfill in it and it covers the armature so there's no hard stuff poking through, and then I can start gluing everything together. So I use a tacky fabric glue that you can get from any craft store. It doesn't have to be anything special, just make sure it's like a clear fabric glue. I find this one, I get it from Spotlight here in Australia, and I find it's really good at adhering fabrics to either resin or polymer clay. I haven't had any weird reactions with it before, so yeah, I recommend getting this one if you're in Australia. If not, you can find something in your local craft stores. So once that's stuck together, I really only had to glue the head and the 2 leg areas. So the wings I ended up sewing onto the body. So I poked a little hole through the body and fed the armature through, and that way I could use a ladder stitch to sew up the wings onto the body. So once that's done, added the faux fur to the head and started colouring all the bits or painting all the bits that needed a little bit of a refresher or needed some more detailing in the head. So usually around the beak bit or the mouth area if you're doing something else, and also around the eyes area. So usually when you add some faux fur to the head, it starts to sort of cover all of the detailing, so you need to add that in again, and you can do that with either some trimming or also some paint as well. I use different kinds of paints. This one I'm using is a fabric paint by Jacquard. I think I have a video somewhere about what paints I use, but I should investigate and see if I have that actually. So I'm just doing some more detailing around the eyes and also the ear. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to know, like I said before, how I deconstructed it, check out my Patreon. You can find it over there. Thanks for watching. Give it a like and a thumbs up. Subscribe if you've hanging around, I guess. And you can also check me out on Instagram, Facebook, Creatures of Nat, and my shop, creaturesofnat.com. And I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.